Hello, lovely people. I'm Debs. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Raina Reads Stuff. I'm here in the book shack and it's Sunday, so I am going to do my weekly reading wrap up. I've had quite a good week this week. I didn't get to the 75 books I wanted to read by the end of January for the Read What You Own challenge. I think I did 72 and I've finished another couple since then. Anyway, bit of a mixture this week. I started off with Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, which I have actually never read before. And I loved it. It was a really quick read. The characters are quirky. Everybody knows the characters. I enjoyed its poetry. I just thought it was fun. Now, the reason I read it is because I found it in this, the Banned Books Compendium. 732 classic or forbidden books. I didn't know it had previously been banned. I downloaded this on Kindle Unlimited ages ago, and it's got all sorts of books in here. But one of the things I like about it is before it starts with the text, you have a bit of information about the book. I mean, like this says, it's never been out of print and has been translated into 174 languages. But then it goes into where it was banned, when and why. So this started in 1900. The book was written in 1865. The first attempt at challenging it was in 1900. It was suspended from classroom use at Woodsville High School in Haverhill, New Hampshire, because of expletives, references to masturbation and sexual fantasies, and derogatory characterizations of teachers and religious ceremonies. Okay. In 1931, this book was banned in China by it in Hunan province on the grounds that animals should not use human language, and it's disastrous to put animals and human beings on the same level. So that counts for my banned book challenge 25 in 25 that MJ at Reading This Life has set up. Next up, I read this, The Hen Who Dreamed She Could Fly by Sun Mi Huang. Sun Mi Hang is a very popular, here she is, South Korean author, who has won many awards. This is the only book of hers I have read. This is a lovely, lovely little fable about a battery hen called Sprout, who has reached the end of her egg-laying years. And so the farmer hooks her out and sticks her in a pit with a load of other dead chickens, but Sprout isn't dead. And the weasel is out to get her from this pit. But she escapes, and she's taken under the wing, literally, of a duck, who has one broken wing. All she wants to do is lay an egg and hatch it and be a mother. And this is about the lengths she's willing to go to do that. This is a story about friendship. It's about not fitting in. It's about motherhood, and it's about sacrifice. And for a little book that's written in a fairy tale fable style, it really packs a bit of a punch. I absolutely loved it. Monday was Holocaust Memorial Day, so I read The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne. John Boyne is an Irish author. This was published in 2006. Many people will probably have seen the film. I've seen the film. I'd never read the book. It got a certain amount of criticism when it was first published. It seems to have a bit of a Marmite effect. This is a book about the son of a German commandant and his family, his mother and his sister, and they relocate to Auschwitz, where his father is newly installed as commandant there. And they come from Berlin. Both of the kids hate it. But Bruno is particularly lonely. He had friends in Berlin that he used to play with. He is 9, I think, in this book. The house they're living in is very close to the boundary fence at Auschwitz, and Bruno walks around the fence. He's looking for something to do, basically, and comes across a young lad the same age as him, exactly the same age as him. They were born on the same day. They sit, it's Shmuel, they sit one side of the fence and the other and chat. The book has been criticised because the historical facts don't appear to be correct. It's very unlikely that a young lad from a camp would be allowed to wander off on his own and sit by a fence and talk to somebody on the other side. There's also a question, people have questioned whether or not there were children of that age in Auschwitz. Whatever you think about the accuracy of the history of this book, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a very poignant book. And if a book like this is going to interest people in finding out more about the Holocaust, that can only be a good thing. Because I am a great believer in not forgetting what's happened in history, because you don't want it to happen again. Now, you can't always stop it happening again, but you need to be aware of just how hideous human beings can get with each other if things are allowed to progress too far. I enjoyed reading this book. I say enjoyed reading. How can you enjoy reading a book about the Holocaust? But I think books like this, even if their details aren't historically accurate, definitely have a place in the world. Right. Where am I? Oh, yes. I've had a bit of an obsession at the moment with Agatha Christie. So I read The Secret of Chimneys. This doesn't include Miss Marple. or Hercule Poirot. Why couldn't I remember his name? But it's still good. It's a sort of, there is murder. There's I prefer them when there's murders. There's murder, there's political intrigue about a fictional country. There's a very nice house party, and a lord who doesn't want all these people in his house but is persuaded to by a member of the British Secret Service, who are trying to get oil rights in this fictional country. And as usual, the end was a surprise. I can't remember whether I've read this or not before. I don't actually think I have, but I enjoyed it. My Agatha Christie palette cleansers. Then, yes, so that was it for January. So yesterday I finished a couple of books. First up was this, A Crack in the Wall, which is the next in the Claudia Pinheiro series that the Pinheiro Project are reading. This was very much a book of two halves, but I can't tell you all about it because we're actually halfway through the reading schedule, and so there are people who haven't finished, and all I can say, everybody I think has got halfway. This really was a book of two halves, though. I found the first half much slower than the second half. I don't personally think it was the best Pinheiro I've read. There's still a couple of unanswered questions. But this is about an architect who is a bit of a miserable character. He's a bit creepy, really. He fantasizes about various women, a woman in his office, and he thinks of her when he's having sex with his wife. At one point, he asks his daughter, who's a teenager, what she thinks of him, and she thinks about it for a while and says he's pathetic. And he is. He persistently draws schematics of a tower block that he wants to build, and he does it over and over and over again, but he's never built it. At the beginning of the story, just like in some other of Pinheiro's work, you know a man is dead, and you know that the three people in this architect's office had something to do with it, but you're not sure what. When I got to the middle, I still wasn't sure whether I was enjoying it or not, but by the end I had. I liked the second half much more than the first half. That's all I'm prepared to say. And then I read a play. I read A Raisin in the Sun by Louise Hansberry. This was as part of Angelia's Read and Reread Endless Drama project, and this was the first play for February. She's doing 2 plays a month. Last month was Pygmalion and then Are You Are. And this month, the first play was A Raisin in the Sun. And I thought I'll just start it yesterday. I couldn't put it down. I thought it was utterly brilliant. I had never heard of it. I had never heard of Louise Hansberry. I've done a bit of background research. I had no idea how important she was in the world of drama, and particularly drama from Black and female authors. She died very young, sadly. She was only 34. I would like to read some more of hers. Again, everybody's just started reading this, so I can't really discuss it other than to say I was absolutely gripped by this story. Set in 1950s Chicago, South Side Chicago, and featuring an extended family that are living in very cramped circumstances. So you have a mother and her son, who is married and has a young lad, a child, Travis, and also there's a daughter. So mum and daughter share a room, husband and wife share a room, and in the lounge/kitchen, Travis has to sleep on the sofa. This was an incredibly good play, and if you haven't read it, read it. The one thing I will say is I've found lots of difficulties in actually tracking down a copy that I could get in e-reader, and ended up with a copy, I think, from the Internet Library, which had duplicated every one of the pages, which was annoying. And yeah, it was just a bit cumbersome to read, really. But that didn't stop me because it was that good. Now, I have also this weekend dipped my toe into a number of the books that we're reading during February for various reading projects. So I've read the prologue and night 1 of 1000 Nights and One Night, which is a reading project that is lasting us until June of next year. I have started what else have I started? Oh, I've started There by Tommy Orange, which is the choice for the I'm with the Band book club on Fable that MJ has set up. I have also started Olga Dies Dreaming by Xochitl Gonzalez. I've started the reading of Sallust, which we'll probably get through in the first couple of weeks of February, and Beyond the Door of No Return by David Diop, which is the Reading the Globe project that's organised by Katja at Page Turners with Katja and Roz at Scally Dandelion about the books. So lots of things. I am still reading Irving Finkel's The First Ghosts. I keep getting waylaid by other things. I'm planning to finish this evening. Also, it's Black History Month. And so I'm going to see if I know I've got something somewhere that's relevant for that. So that's my week. It's been quite busy. It's going to continue to be quite busy. I like it like that. I like being able to dip into different genres and different books and different events. And of course, it's Holmes is where the heart is as well. So there'll be some Sherlock Holmes on the agenda this week. What have you been reading? I hope you've been having fun, whatever you've been doing, because that's the whole point, isn't it? Let's have fun. I am now 74 books into my Read What You Own challenge, where I have pledged to read 125 books before I purchase any more. I still think I might be on target for the end of March, but I'm not sure. But like I said before, it's not actually urgent. It's not a race. I'm not in competition with anyone. I'll get there when I get there. And until I get there, I'll keep reading some great stuff. Oh, the Brothers Karamazov. That's the other one I've started reading. I've read the first book. We're reading books 1 and 2 this week. It's only about 110 pages, I think. So I've read the first book, still got the second book to go. But that really is it now. Have a lovely week. Whatever you're reading, I hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment down below, and I will speak to you very soon. Bye for now.